So, spiritual living well, serving the greater good. This section is dedicated to the care partners and the folks in the Parkinsons Society. This is the dimension of living well that I find most joyful. And this entire talk is dedicated to my Aunt Pauline, what we call her Polly, who actually died last fall with Parkinsons and some other related disorders. But she was the grace gift of me. She was the gift of grace to me, living with Parkinsons and other health challenges, and her uncle, my uncle Jim. So I'm dedicating my talk to Jim and Polly. In fact, I'm dedicating to Jim and all the caregivers and the care partners out there, because this is your section. This is how we live well, because of how much you care. Serving the greater good. Oh, I don't have my paper. Okay. This is a fellow that lived from 1833 to 1896. Now, it doesn't really matter when he's born. It doesn't really matter when he died. What really matters is that little red dash. You know the dash? It matters the quality of his life. He's got a pretty cool dash. He started a prize that celebrates the best of humanity. The guy named Alfred Nobel. You know the guy I'm talking about? So his dash is pretty cool. Here's a pretty cool dash. You like her dash? She had a pretty cool dash, eh? Pretty cool dash. Here's another person with a pretty cool dash. And finally, of course, is you. The care partners. That's a mirror, by the way, in case you can't see. That's the care partners and everybody in the room. Now, there's a wonderful poem called The Dash. You have internet access? Go look it up, The Dash poem. And it talks about life lived, not when you die, when you're born, but that quality of the dash of your life. And for the folks that are our care partners, our quality of life is made better because you care about us. And for the folks that run the organizations that back us up, and in this case the Parkinson's and Epilepsy Society in Victoria here, you're our background. You are our unsung heroes. And I want to celebrate the unsung heroes. Well, let's talk about it. Let's do it. And living well, folks, is to have an unsung hero and to celebrate them. And I want to share with you where I got the story. I had the great fortune to follow one of my heroes' footsteps in 2001. I got all the way to the country of Nepal, and I followed in Sir Edmund Hillary's footsteps. You know Sir Edmund Hillary climbed the world's greatest mountain in 1953? I had the great pleasure of putting on a backpack, going to Nepal, and I'm pleased to announce that I made it all the way to the bottom of Mount Everest. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful view, wonderful view. My hero went to the top. And I heard a story about Sir Edmund Hillary. For him to get to the top of the mountain in 1953, it took 350 porters, Sherpa, you know Sherpa people, carrying 10 tons of gear for 3 months to get him to the top of the mountain. Now he's the hero, knighted by the Queen of England, he's the hero. But those 350 people, are unnamed. They are the unsung heroes. And when I look out here, I see the care partners, and I see the folks that are living and thriving with Parkinson's disease. I see unsung heroes, folks. I see people with courage, I see people with commitment and drive and desire and joy in life, and it's a real celebration to be with you today, and I want to thank you for that. I want to share with you just a closing thought. Here's a little guy, one of the porters carrying a load up the hill. But here's your quote. This is for the care partners and the Parkinson's staff and the researchers and the scientists and the doctors that come up here and share their information and their dedication to you. Everyone has the power for greatness, folks, not for fame, but for greatness. Because greatness is determined by service. That's what an unsung hero does. An unsung hero gives selflessly, and all the volunteers that make this conference possible today, they're all our unsung heroes. The people that made the food for us today, we don't even know their names, but our bodies are better off because of what they did for us today. So they become our unsung heroes. So I want to celebrate and share that with you as our closing thoughts and the words. So, once again, great place to have this question asked, because I've been to the Vatican, folks. I've been to Italy. I spent some time in Italy, Rome, gorgeous town. I've been to the vaults of the Vatican. I've discovered and found a rare document that St. Peter's interview questions when you get to the gates of heaven. You know, you thought you'd just walk in? Well, it doesn't work like that. You have 3 questions you have to pass, and St. Peter's will ask these when you're at the gates of heaven. And here they are. I want to reflect on these very carefully for yourself. Just see how you're doing so far, okay? I'm not saying you're dying tomorrow, but I'm just checking in with you. Question 1, did you find joy? Did you find joy in your lifetime? As a caregiver, as a partner, whatever, did you find joy? Question 2, did you give joy? And question 3 is a multiple choice, unfortunately. Who's a better band, the Beatles or the Stones? Unfortunately, it doesn't matter which one. They're both right answers, so don't worry, don't panic with the third one. Beatles. No, the Stones, the Beatles, the Stones. So this is kind of a care partner conversation. It's kind of a Parkinson's staff conversation. It's kind of a doctor's conversation for the folks with Parkinson's. I love the quote, you make a living by what you get. That's how you exchange your time for money, that's fine. But you make a life by what you give. And so to all those folks that are supporting us and backing us up, and to my wife, to my baby, to my little doggies, I want to thank them, and I want us to thank them now, the folks with Parkinson's, to thank our caregivers and care partners. So in summary, folks, my time is winding up. We can do questions if you want, but my time is winding up here officially on the stage. Physically, laugh more. The physical key to living well, one of the keys to living well is to physically make the body laugh. And you don't feel like it, do it. You don't feel like going for a jog, at least laugh your face off for 20 minutes. And do it with somebody else so you don't feel alone. That's one fun too. So laugh more physically. You'll be better off living well with Parkinson's if you laugh more. Emotionally, see people as people. Wherever you can, see them as people. If you can't see them as a person, find something that you have in common, because everybody has something in common. So see people as people, emotionally living well. Mentally, choose gratitude. The choice to think and think is always there. You can write your own country song if you want. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it's a choice every day, every single day. Think and thinking, attitude of gratitude. And finally, spiritually, folks, journey together. Oh, I'm not done yet. Everyone should have a little blue card. I forgot to bring mine up because I was in the bathroom when I was introduced, so I didn't get my blue card. But there's a little blue card. Can you help? Did you see the little blue card in your package? These are my final words for you. It's a little blue card. It's a success quote. There's a whack of them in the back table if you never got one. It's a little quote card. I'm going to share with you my closing thoughts with you today, and these are my last words. But take the card home. If you didn't get one in your package, please pick one up on the back table. There's lots of blue cards. It's a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's on the nature of success, and I dedicate it to you, the Parkinson's staff, the doctors that support us, the researchers that support us, the care partners, and of course the folks like myself living and thriving with Parkinson's. I want to share with you because it's just a beautiful quote. I wish I wrote it myself, but it's Ralph Waldo Emerson. If you can't find one in your package, there's lots on the back table when you leave today, so don't worry about that. Just make sure you take one home, and if you want to take one for a friend of yours, that's fine too. Let me share this with you, folks. Success by Ralph Waldo Emerson. That's my little girl again. I got a big pocket full over here. To laugh often and much. To win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children. To earn the appreciation of honest critics and to endure the betrayal of false friends. To appreciate beauty. To find the best in others. To leave the world a bit better. Whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or redeemed social condition. To play with enthusiasm and sung with exultation. If you have kids like this, to survive them. To know that even one life has breathed easier because you've lived, this is to have succeeded. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the courage to live well.